All right, my loves. It is our weekly vlog time. Last week felt so good to just be able to say, you know what? I'm taking back my focus. You know what I mean? I want to make my vlog about me, because why would it not be? It's my life. What's been going on? I told y'all, I think I told y'all. If not, I'll just catch y'all up real quick. Oh yeah, I did, because I said I listened to my intuition. Yes. So y'all know that I'm no longer doing Carnival. And this week we're actually going to talk about authenticity. The reason that I want to talk about authenticity, because every time that I look online, I kind of see a lot of people framing authenticity as like being the same. Like, you are authentic if you are the same as people know you or as people understand you to be. And I actually disagree with that. I feel like being authentic means being true to yourself. And being true to yourself doesn't always mean that you're going to do the same thing over and over again. And that's kind of one of the things that I struggled with a lot in my journey. Like, I've lost a lot of friends because they wanted me to keep being the person that they knew me to be, but that wasn't authentic to myself. Like, what's authentic to me is to do what I feel like doing in the moment. And sometimes that might look different from one day to the next. And I don't want to feel this added pressure to be what another person has expected me to be just because they have a vision of me in their mind. To me, that just feels very unfair for any of us to be asked of that. And so I try not to do it to other people. And along with trying not to do it to other people, I try to be a lot more strenuous about not letting people do it to me. Um, I don't really have anything measured that's going on in my life as far as like giving y'all any tea right now. So this week is really just gonna be me talking about my journey with authenticity and like how it was really difficult for me to get comfortable with what I just said at the beginning of this video. Like, it was hard for me to look at myself and say I'm happy with myself even if others are not. It was really difficult. I feel like these gaps might be too big. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm making... Nah, they're not. Okay. I'm getting started on my birthday dress, which I'm super excited to make. And this top that I'm making is going to look like a seashell, and then I'm going to add pearls to it. So I'm super excited. Ooh, my eye just made me realize something that I do want to talk to y'all about. My eye. Not not in a bad way. There's nothing wrong with my eye. But I realized that when I get excited, my left eye kind of does something crazy. And it shows up sometimes in videos and pictures. Like, I have a few vlogs here where I'm like talking to y'all, but this eye is just like, and then this one is like fully open. So little eye, big eye. Even that for me is like a part of authenticity, like being comfortable with the things that are just not favorable about myself, or that I wouldn't find favorable, or that I don't necessarily care for, but being able to say like, this is a part of me, and maybe, you know, I don't like it for this part, but I love it because it's a part of me, especially something that happens naturally, like this damn little eye. It's like, okay, girl, we gonna find out, you know, when we're hitting red carpets and things, how to make sure we pose on the slant a little bit to get this eye right, right? I've been in the mirror working. That's another thing that I talk about. Well, I'm bouncing around. Come back. I've been in the mirror working on my face. And honestly, this is what made me decide to do authenticity for this week. I ask myself a lot of times in my life, just out loud, how much of who I am is truly who I am, and how much of it is like who I work to be. And it makes me wonder, and I would love for you guys to chime in, because I have an answer for myself, but I love to hear other people's perspectives, because it might not change my answer, but it might enhance my answer in a bit. I used to ask myself, like, if I practice things like speaking because I have a lisp, or I practice things like posing because I know that I'm going to be filmed a lot, I'm going to be on camera, I need to be aware of my face, is that authentic, right? Like, is it authentic to notice something about yourself that you maybe naturally do that isn't aligned with what you want to present, work on that thing, and then show up as the work that you've done? Now, my answer to myself is yes, because these are natural things, right? My eye naturally does whatever the fuck it does. I naturally have a lisp. So naturally talking to me might take some patience. These are things that happen natural. What I feel about authenticity is that authenticity isn't always just natural. I feel like authenticity is taking the natural and then adding intention into it and then creating your authentic self. So it's natural that my eye kind of sometimes flails up and down, right? It's natural that because of my list, some of my words have to be repeated or said a little bit more slowly. The intention that I add to that natural creates authenticity. So the fact that I am intentionally working on tilting my face to make sure that it's not, off balance in my eye. The fact that I'm intentionally working on speaking slowly and taking my time, it adds that intention to create this authentically amazing woman that you guys come and hang out with every week. And I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for that because I feel like I have had a lot of people in my life because they were judged by other people in their lives, or even if they judge themselves, they have had such harsh feelings about me and who I am and how I show up in this world that it has made me question myself. And I ain't doing that shit no more. I don't know if it's just my 30s. I don't know if it's just like, I will say this. Let me not say that. I know it's my 30s. Ever since my 30s, I just have a different mindset. It's just like, I'm not going to be 40 dealing with the same bullshit. I didn't mind, some of the bullshit in the 20s. Not even so much I didn't mind it. I wasn't aware of how detrimental that bullshit that I was entertaining in my 20s was to me. But, like, I'm done with that. I don't know how far we got on that week when I was, like, crying about a lot of my former friends and being like, you know what, for the first time in maybe 4 or 5 years, I won't say 4 or 5 because it hasn't even been that long that I haven't been around those people. But for the first time in the last like 2 or 3 years of my life, I know that this year I'm not going to be expecting to see any of the people that I'm not connected to around my birthday. Like, bitch, stop thinking that you're special enough, that these people are just going to show up on your birthday. And you don't want to deal with those heavy conversations. So stop wishing that. Stop willing that to your life. Just stop. Like, let go of the things of yesterday. Because there are so many people coming into my life right now, y'all, that I really fucking love. Like, I'm meeting more queer people. My man and I are meeting more poly people. We are meeting people that actually are aligned with us, opposed to trying to stay close to the people that I've always been around in my life that truly don't understand me. And I feel like I have to wake up every day and explain who I am to them. I feel like I have to wake up every day and kind of like defend myself, and I don't want to do that anymore. Like, I don't want to have to explain to people who I am and hope that they understand it. If you don't understand who I am, tough titty, baby, because I am having a ball and I love being who I am. But if you don't, that's on you. The only thing, because I do still want to give you guys kind of like semi updates around the house. The only thing that's going on around the house is summer vacation. So both boys will be here sort of for summer vacations. The younger son, he has summer camp. So I think this next 2 weeks he'll be here with us every day, and then after that he'll be going back to his mom's, and we'll be back to on the weekday summer camp, and then the weekend he comes here because his mom works over the weekend because she works for the post office. Cool. The big boy, I feel like he'll be back and forth between like his grandma's house. He's older. He's a lot more independent. So he'll be probably hanging out with his friends, cousins, etc. But the summertime is here, so I am gonna get back out there in my loft, guys. We talked a lot about my workspace and kind of like a space that's intentionally for me, and I kind of lost sight of it because a lot of shit was going on in the house. A lot of shit was going on in the house, y'all. And now that we're kind of getting through the muck of all the things that was going on in the house, that's another reason why last week I just kind of shifted our gears, because things are kind of getting, right on track here. So the next thing that I really want to tell you guys about is going to be like the fruits of all this labor, because we've been laboring, both myself, the boys, my man, we've been really laboring as a family. And so I'm super excited to see the fruits of that labor. But these next few vlogs are gonna be us kind of getting out there in my backspace. I want to put up, like, I have like a divider. I have this big curtain and I have a divider. So I'm gonna try to put that up this week. And then I'm gonna put like my comfy stuff back there. Really, y'all, I've been waiting to get into my loft space because my mom is gonna make me a big giant crochet turtle, kind of like, is he down here? Kind of like my Marley man. But he's gonna be way bigger. I have no idea what I'm gonna name him yet, but he's gonna be huge, and I'm gonna make that like where I sit at when I'm in the back. So I'm getting my own space set up, but I'm kind of holding off for that. Plus, I want to do some other decorating things back there that I know is gonna cost money. See, there's the eye, boom, intention. That I'm gonna be doing other things back there, but that's really what's going on right now. Like right now in my life, I am just kind of like waking up to a lot of shit. Like, girl, these things are not important. This is important. Let's focus on this. And that's a really good place to be, in my opinion. Like, I feel good. I feel good. I told TikTok this, so I'll tell you guys this and then we'll wrap up. Me and my partner had our first, like, I won't even say argument because I was the only one talking. But we had our first kind of like major falling out Friday, actually. So right after I finished vlogging with y'all, baby, I think I was just going through a lot mentally. And I think a lot of people who are like former people pleasers or people who are still unlearning people pleasing, we go through a lot in our brains because we go through a lot in our brains because truthfully, we have a lot of more thoughts than we speak on. And I'm getting better at like speaking on my thoughts and not talking myself out of speaking on my thoughts. Because I have to understand that if you just keep on letting things pile up, eventually they're going to spill over. And that's exactly what happened Friday. I let a lot of things that were uncomfortable for me pile up. And then by the time they spilled over, they hurt my feelings. They hurt my partner's feelings. It was just a lot going on. I'm at work, obviously ignoring my job, y'all, but stay focused. There was so much going on that I realized that a lot of this could have been avoided if I had spoke up sooner. So I'm going to work on that. But I will say that I said that to say this, and I said this on TikTok. I'm going to say it again. Arguing, getting into it with somebody is really hurtful. It's really painful. Like spending time by yourself, not knowing how another person feels, is painful. And I don't think that any relationship will ever exist without those arguments. I'm grateful that it seems that they are far and few between in my relationship. If you are a person who watches me every week or watches my content and this is your reality in any form of your life, like if you arguing a lot with a friend, if you arguing a lot with a family member, if you're arguing a lot with a mate, that shit is exhausting. And I can't tell you what to do with your life, but you absolutely deserve better. Because the peace that I have right now in my life, it comes from the fact that I'm around people who love me. I'm around people who are peaceful. I'm around people who are positive. Like, I thought about a friend who I've been sad about losing, and I realized, like, Harley, like, don't be sad about missing this girl. Like, no offense to her. She was really judgy. She was really mean to me. So it's like, why would I be sitting around sad about missing an abuser? Like, we don't want to call it that because I don't think that it was intentional abuse, but if I am somebody, and this was true for me in this friendship with this person, if I make a status on my social media or create content on my social media, I should not be at home wondering, oh, I wonder what so-and-so gonna think about this. I bet you she gonna say something about this. And if she don't say it directly to me, I bet you she gonna say it behind my back. You should not be thinking that about your friends. And I used to think that about a friend of mine. I used to sit back and be like, damn, I know she finna judge me. And it's like, why would I even want to entertain a friendship like that? Why would I miss a person like that? I'm so grateful that that young lady cut me off. Thank you, boo. Thank you for that silent cutoff. Because, sis, I needed it. I probably would have never walked away from that friendship. I probably would have never saw it for what it was. I probably would have continued to try because I come from that cloth and I hate that about myself sometimes. But I'm so grateful that she walked away, and I'm so grateful that even though there are moments where I have thought about her and wondered how her life was going, that I allowed her to continue to be gone. And the fact that we know so many people mutually, I have already told myself, like, I might see her this summer if I go to some of these events that people are having. And I'm really excited to just be like, hey, how you doing, and move on. Because I realized, like, this wasn't for me. And I wasn't for you, apparently, because if I'm that irritating, or I'm this, that you have to always cast judgment on me, that so much that I feel apprehensive to post things and exist because I'm afraid of what you gonna think. Girl, neither one of us needed to be around each other. So kudos to you, Miss Mamas. And I feel like all of these things that I mentioned this week, they all align with my goal to live as authentic as I can. Because I feel like there was time in my life where I wanted to live according to what other people wanted for me, or I wanted to live according to what I assumed was expected of me. I feel like everybody kind of has that moment in their lives. And now I'm just kind of in a space of like, I'm going to figure out what works for me. I'm going to show up with what works for me, and I'm going to be okay if that doesn't work for others. Because for a long time in my life, I wasn't okay about that. So I would alter, and I would, oh, okay, no, I'm not okay with this, but let me just do this because I know that I love you and I want you around. I can't love a person who don't love me, and you can't love me if everything out your mouth is judgment to me, in my opinion. Now, you might have love for me, but I can't say platonic, romantic, or familial that you can have love for me if I am afraid of you judging me. Which means that I can't love you because I can't love somebody that ain't out here loving me because I'm probably loving what I think that you should be. A lot of us do that. We love what we think a person's supposed to be. Oh, they could be such a great friend, so I love them. No, fuck that. Fuck that today. Fuck that tomorrow. Fuck that for the rest of my life. I'm going to start loving people for who they show me that they are. And if you don't show me that you're somebody who can be loved by me in a way that I feel is appropriate to be loved, my phone is ringing off the hook. So we're going to wrap this up because I'm just babbling at this point. I am super appreciative of the way in which I've grown. I am appreciative of the way that I hold myself accountable. I am appreciative of the way that I reflect, and I am appreciative of this space wherein which I can reflect out loud with some of you guys. Thanks those of you who I've seen commenting on my videos. I've seen people liking my videos. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I absolutely appreciate those of you who have been here for this journey all the way from the beginning back in November. But shout out to you if you just showed up new. You ain't got to really backtrack. But if you want to, I thank you for the engagement. Please tell a friend to like, comment, and subscribe because your girl needs to get to the point where I'm getting monetized so I can leave this job alone. But anywho, I love y'all and I will see y'all next week.